produce $500,000, $1 million, getting to 1 or 2 people in one day? Are you going to only sell $2 million homes? Is that your market? The second decision I made, and some of you are going to like drop your stuff and leave and say, that's it, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And I really did it for many reasons. Nobody buys the cow when they get the milk for free. Here's the part they didn't tell you. Nobody wants the free milk after a while. It's boring. If you want to be valued, you have to value yourself. Because their answer to that question is going to tell you whether or not you want to continue with that client. We just came back from lunch, and I'm a mom. It's usually nap time after lunch. Today, we're going to wake up a little bit. Has anyone in this room ever watched a college softball game on TV? Raise your hand if you've ever seen one. 3 girls, 5 guys, okay. Did you find it a little strange that these girls were cheering on the fence the whole time? Did that stand out to you at all, right? Like, they're not cheerleaders, they're softball players. Can anyone tell me why OU, UCLA, the top teams that always win, those girls never sit? They're always up cheering on the fence. Who knows? Go ahead, let's go.
You're on a team. Encourage your teammates. You're in this together. You're important. We're going together. So, yeah. Energy is everything. Yeah.
Do they win when they're sitting down like?
Bad energy.
Bad energy. So we're going to have a little fun. Who's up for some fun? Let's go. All right. I promised my daughter that I would do this, and she said, there's no way, Mom, you're nuts. We're going to get everybody who's in the hallway having a hallway conference in this room right now. So on this side of the room, I'm going to have all you guys say, you fired up. So what are you saying? You fired up. Let's go. And then everyone on this side of the room, you're going to say, I'm fired up. And we're all going to say together, yeah. And we're going to do this twice. Who's ready? Let's go. Because we're going to win at real estate. All right, everybody stand up. Everybody start clapping. 1, 2, 3. Heard up. Yeah. You fired up. Fired up. Yeah. Woo. I love it. I love it. Thank you, guys. You just made my daughter's day, by the way. Do you know how hard it is to make a 15-year-old girl's day? All right. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is something very real, something very easy that even an 8th grader can do it. Was anybody at last year's Do More Deal Summit? Yeah. Kenzie wanted me to ask you guys if you've been making your calls. I'll tell you a funny story about that. Okay. So $500K in your pajamas or your Lululemons or whatever you guys like to wear. How many of you would like to make $500,000 as a part-time job? Yeah. So if I were to ask you, hey, you only have 4 hours a day to do your job, which is sell real estate, what would you need to change in your business? And you have to double your income. How would you do that? Well, that's what I want to share with you today. So a story I really haven't actually told publicly is my partner of 8 years, who is an amazing human being, suddenly passed away in 2022. And I became the sole breadwinner after being financially dependent for 8 years. And I also became the sole taxi cab, the sole parent. So you have to do twice the things and make twice the money. That pressure is maybe something like maybe some of you are feeling right now in your own life. That's a lot of pressure to make more money in less time. So how do we do that? How do you do that? It was a really scary place. I was doing things the way that maybe some of you are doing them right now, and they work. They definitely work. Door knocking helped me to sell beautiful luxury homes, but it takes a long time. Very rarely are you going to go knock for 4 hours in the afternoon and $1 million sellers just say, yep, I'm ready now. It's not too common. So how many of you drive every appointment you go to? You go in person? About half the room, okay. And would you say it's about a 3-hour ordeal? Driving there, the appointment, coming home? And I don't even think just ladies, probably men now too. Did you ever feel like, I'm not even sure I want my car in this neighborhood? I feel a little unsafe right now. This is a stranger's home you're going into, right? You guys don't personally know some of these people, correct? So what else happens when we're constantly driving to appointments? What are we also limited by? Gabriella said geography. If you live in Vancouver, has a lot of traffic, right? Where are the people from LA? I don't think you're getting around too quickly either. Time. How are you going to produce $500,000, $1 million getting to 1 or 2 people in one day? Are you going to only sell $2 million homes? Is that your market? Probably not realistic for some of us in this room, right? And your energy. If you were doing things the right way, the old way, driving out to appointments, prospecting, doing all the things, after a while, no matter how much you love it, kind of start to feel a little tired. Truthfully, right? You can agree. Like, Ferry's not going to come and murder you guys. You're good. We love him. He was my first coach. Okay. So if this is the way you're doing things, you're not really a business owner. You're a glorified hamster. You know, you're really just on this wheel doing the same things over and over again. So I made 2 decisions out of necessity. What do they say? It's the mother of all invention? Is that the right term? Okay. So I had to do 2 things, and I had to do them fast. The first decision I made was, if you partner with EXP, you have the ability to do what? Okay. Which is income, which is leverage. Can your downline grow without you? So you own a business now, right? You own something that will grow without your constant input, correct? So that was the first decision I made. The second decision I made, and some of you are going to like drop your stuff and leave and say, that's it, she doesn't know what she's talking about, is I decided to go fully online. I made a decision that I would no longer meet with sellers in person ever again. And I really did it for many reasons. But can I tell you how it happened? Can I tell you how it happened? So I got a call. Do anybody else call expireds, or am I the only old horseman here? Okay, it's not just me. So I call expireds. You guys ever get that call when they're like, yeah, I'm ready now. What's up, John? What's up? Are you ready, Marins? Can you come over? And those are the best calls because you make your calls all the time. So to finally have someone say, yeah, I'm ready, that's what you're waiting on, right? So I got a call from somebody I'd been harassing forever. And they were like, yeah, it's between you and someone else. And I was in Oklahoma City. My daughter was getting ready to go play softball. And I'm like, well, I don't know. We're going to get on Zoom. That's what we're going to do. So all of this figured out, for all the moms in here, don't think you're not capable. You are the most resourceful person to solve your problems. We always find a way. So I wanted the listing, but I also wanted to be present for my daughter. I wasn't going to go drive back to Dallas. So I said, okay, let's meet on Zoom. And that is when I figured it all out. Oh my God, I just did a 20-minute listing presentation and I'm making 4% of $500,000. That's $20,000. It's $20,000 commission in 20 minutes. If you want to increase your price per hour, stop doing the things the old way. So what do traditional agents do? They drive to all these appointments, they meet anyone who asks, they don't go to qualified leads. What does a high productive agent do? We conduct appointments via Zoom, we pre-qualify them fully, we present only to motivated sellers, focus on high probability deals. What's a high probability deal? One that's gonna close, that's right. And then you have to select people based upon who qualifies to work with you. If there's one thing I leave with you today, take this out of your vocabulary. Pop by. I have never met a billionaire who pops by anywhere. We are not desperate. Nobody buys the cow when they get the milk for free. Here's the part they didn't tell you. Nobody wants the free milk after a while. It's boring. If you want to be valued, you have to value yourself. Start working with people who qualify to work with you. What does that look like? What does somebody qualified to work with you look like? Realistic.
Yes, so that's the listing agreement. I left the listing price for you to fill out. My suggestion is $299.99. That does
Okay.
seem like your auction price. Oh, the length, I only gave 60 days, but obviously if it's not working, we can cancel it before then. I'm
Look
not
at the
going to hold you
commission.
up.
That's to the listing
Right.
agent.
What's this? Oh, phone number.
Yeah, your phone number.
That's
Did
easy.
any title companies do like a survey or anything for you when you were listed before? Like, do I have to use a certain title company?
I don't think you have to use a certain title company.
Boom.
Okay.
Whichever title company works for you.
Yeah, probably going to go through City Central.
There you go. Listing signed. That should be a part of your process. We send the DocuSign listing agreement before we get on the Zoom. Why do we do that? I want to know whether or not you're going to sign before I even waste my 20 minutes with you. If you start giving me static now, you're going to be a pain in the butt the rest of the way. And that's not the client who qualifies to work with me. Remember, I'm looking to make $500,000 in 4 hours a day. So I know that right now this is probably very different and maybe it feels uncomfortable to a lot of you. So you're probably wondering, well, I'm good in person. Do some of you feel like that? Oh, I'm just so good in person, they're gonna work with me. It's okay. A lot of people feel that way. Do some of you maybe feel like you're gonna lose the relationship because you're not in person with them? Is that a fear? Yeah, for sure. So the truth is, all of you are in this room because of Zoom. How many of you met Aaron for the first time this weekend? How many of you met me for the first time this weekend? We all have a relationship, right? It made you fly from wherever you're from to be here. So to think that Zoom doesn't create relationships is like not believing that what you've already done is true. It's actually a multiplier of relationships. Because instead of Aaron just meeting with one-on-one and only being able to serve 5 agents a day, he's able to serve all of us because we all get the opportunity to be with him. And the same is true of you with your clients. So the agent of the future, if they embrace this, they're never going to put their life in danger ever again. Clap it up for safety. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like these headlines lately, I almost feel like I want to call the broker and cuss them out. It was your job to teach that agent how to qualify, how to protect themselves. They were murdered because you didn't care enough. Don't let that be you. Not to scare you guys, but let's not put ourselves in that position. Now, we want to get faster. So how do you work with level 10 motivated sellers? How do you tell people you don't work for less than 4% commission, which could be 7% total? How do you do that? Show them value, and you speak to more people. If you're driving 3 hours a day, you can't speak to a lot of people, right? If you are being more efficient and having appointments set for you, either by your callers or yourself, you can now meet 6 sellers in one day. And you can now decide who gets the opportunity to work with you. I mean, aren't you guys tired of, please let me stop over, I'm gonna pop by? You guys are all good looking people. You didn't do that when you met your partner. Why are you doing that with your sellers? You guys are trained by one of the best wordsmiths in the entire country. Actually, I could probably put Aaron up against the top 5 agents in the world, and he'd probably beat all of them in a script battle. Clap it up for Aaron. Why are we begging anyone for anything? Y'all are the best. People need to qualify to work with you. Start acting like it. Let's go. Okay, this is the time comparison. I actually did a study on this. Even though I'm a driver, I got a little analytical for y'all. And an average Zoom appointment is 29 minutes, and an average in-time appointment is about 2 hours, with the driving, the talking, the sitting there with the cats, the whole thing. So, you can get through a lot more appointments in one day. And here's the psychology of authority, what we just talked about. We're not gonna chase people. We're going to become more selective. This alone, I don't think anyone's teaching in this industry. I don't think I've met a single coach who told me turn down a client as much as I do. Well, other than Aaron. Other than Aaron. Can we start treating ourselves with some respect? Clap it up for realtors. Y'all just made it through 2 of the hardest years that will probably ever happen in our lifetime. You have made it through the shift of AI, the shift of interest rates, all of this stuff, and you're still here. You shouldn't beg anyone for anything. They should beg you. You made it. So here's what you're going to do to create authority before you meet. You're going to create content. This is really helpful. And if you guys want one of my templates, I think a lot of you know me, or if you don't, go on Instagram and you can follow me at Coach J Nelson, Coach J Nelson, and I'm happy to send you the template. So before I meet with a client on Zoom, I like to show them that I am that bee by sending them content. I send them to my YouTube channel, and I let them see other properties that we've sold and testimonials from clients. How many of you are getting testimonials from your clients on video? You gotta bump that up, like this whole room. I don't care if that client was your sister and it was your first rental. You start getting real testimonies from clients. Because a lot of people in the world that we live in, they think you're a robot, they think you could be in another country, but when they see somebody in the town next to them saying, this home on this street sold, and they go on Zillow and track that, you just became real. And they just decided that they like you better than the purple bricks or the $500 broker that they talked to before you. Pre-qualify. I think Aaron gets a little bit tired of talking to us about this because we don't really listen. So what does pre-qualify mean? Does it mean being afraid to ask the hard ones? I'm not going to bore everybody because I hate talking about things we should know already. But we need to ask really hard questions, especially in this market. One of my favorite questions, and you guys are welcome to use this, whatever you believe that home is truly going to sell for. So let's say you called a cash offer, right? Or a probate or expired, whatever you're calling. And they were previously listed at $550, but you know it really should be $385. It happens, right? This is one of my favorite questions to ask people. Marin sees it all the time. That's why he's laughing. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you know, let's say you put the home on the market yourself and you had tons of showings, you killed it. You even got a bunch of offers. And the highest offer you got was $385. What would you do? Because their answer to that question is going to tell you whether or not you want to continue with that client. Absolutely not. That's insulting. I'm hanging up. Great. Saved yourself a headache. Goodbye. Here's what you're looking for. Here's what you're looking for as a response. You know, I think if they came in at like, I don't know, 400, maybe I would take it. It would depend on the other terms. Now you know that you could probably work something out there. You could probably find a way to make that deal work. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. Start asking really hard questions that you need to know the answers to. Stop letting people talk you into their stinky listing with their wife that doesn't really want to sell, with their kids that hate you because they don't want to move. Stop taking those listings. Send your pre-listing materials. Again, you're going to put testimonials. You're going to put social proof. It should sell you before you even walk in. And you're going to control the narrative. So you choose the meeting time. Stop giving people 2 times. Stop doing that. You know, I'd really love to meet with you today, Connor. Unfortunately, I'm completely booked because my skills are in high demand in this market. But it looks like I could squeeze you in possibly at 4 p.m. That's the last opportunity I have for you. That's a lot different than, please take 5 or 2 tomorrow. And you want to know what motivated sellers say? Yeah, we'll make a way. We'll find a way. Yeah, I'm going to let my husband know he needs to come home early from work. And again, you're pre-qualifying. Now you know this is a real seller. So this is another thing I really love. I'm sure, John, you probably already do this. Like big producers, I'm sure you're already doing this. But me as a younger producer, I'm still figuring things out. Not in age. I just call myself that. The pre-recorded listing presentation. Have any of you recorded a listing presentation? Yes, let's go. 2, 3, 4 people. 5. Mark Ramey, how much business did you do this year? 21 million. That's all. That's all. Ben, how much business did you do this year? 60 million. So what do you guys think? Pre-recorded listing presentation. Could it work? What you want to do, and this is why it's so beautiful to do this, you don't need to make it fancy. You don't need a podcast studio. You don't need to go get a professional makeup artist. Record yourself with your phone if that's all you have, and do your entire listing presentation minus the CMA. Tell them the most important thing for you. What's the most important thing for you? Boom, commission. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Do you guys remember how much I take commission? What I won't take less than? 4%. How many of you are in markets that are $1 million and higher? How much of a difference would that make in your income? It's pretty significant. So you're going to tell them what your fee is. And you're not going to justify it. You're going to make it so common and normal, that's what everybody pays. And if you don't like it, well, there's other options for you, darling. Record your listing presentation and send it to every seller. Some sellers who aren't that motivated are not going to open it. Sellers who open it, what do you think the next thing they want to talk about is? That's it. That's all you have to talk about. Your listing presentation just became 5 minutes on price. So you got even more of your time back. Who wants to make more money in less time? Let's go. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So if anyone wants help recording their pre-listing webinar, their listing appointment, feel free to go on YouTube. Mine is right on there, and you could steal it verbatim. So we want to definitely prospect smarter, not harder, because obviously this is the most important thing. We can't set appointments if we don't have clients. There's so many different ways of going about it. I'm just going to tell you what I do because I can't tell you what other people do. For me, I use the Enzo dialer because it's 14 lines and I can get through more information. I do it for about 2 hours a day. In those 2 hours, I can set 2 appointments. With the skills that all of you have, if you're calling high quality leads, whether it's motivated sellers, probate leads, whatever you like to call, if you're using a high quality dialer, you should set 1 appointment an hour. So you should have at least 2 appointments every day. Now, how do we, well, I'll talk about it in a minute. We want to only talk to motivated sellers, obviously. I think that this is kindergarten. You guys should know this already. What are the reasons why people move in a tough market? Yep, all the D's: death, divorce, diapers, life, downsizing, all the life changes. These are all the questions you want to ask them. You guys probably know most of this. So here's how you get to be Abel and Ben and John Sy. Duplicate yourself. Because if you only have 2 hours to make calls, you really can only set 2 appointments. But if you want to have 6 appointments in your calendar, hire callers. The Zoom appointment is really not hard to sell. The only time I ever get pushback is when people are of my parents' generation. And that's okay. Typically what I do, remember I told you the first decision I made was EXP? I love feeding my friends. So if it's somebody who's really motivated but they won't meet on Zoom, I'll typically refer it to someone else in my market. Remember, we're trying to make $500,000 in 4 hours. You have to have strong boundaries that you stick to. Remember when you said you weren't going to date a guy who doesn't have a job? I don't care that he has a 6-pack. We're still not dating a guy who has no job, guys. So the flow is the same flow: motivation, timeline, price, commission, decision. Again, we want to remain in control. We're not chasing people. So set the agenda up front. I let them know exactly what's going to happen. I love using screen sharing. So one thing that's kind of hard to do in person is like sit there and fidget with like the MLS. Any of you have like some amazing listings where you're like, I can't believe I did that? One person? Anybody else? Okay, 3 people. Screen share the MLS. Again, our world that we live in, people have a hard time believing things, and everyone's the top producer. Remember that movie Elf with Will Ferrell, The World's Best Coffee? Everyone's the top producer, right? So show them the actual MLS, go into it, say, hey, what did that list for? Can you tell me what the days on market are? And what did it sell for? Use that strategically. You don't have to tell them anything else. They literally will pick their head up and say, can you do that for me? And what does that tell you when they say that to you? They're ready to hire you. Okay, so this is a highly controversial topic, and feel free to send it to NAR. I'm cool with it. I value my time. Every minute that I waste is time stolen from my family. Every minute that I waste is time stolen from my family. Do any of you guys have kids? That's how you have to start guarding your time. So if you want my time, you need to pay the premium for it. Remember we talked about qualifying people? I love some of your faces are like, what? So a lot of agents will say to me, yeah, of course you can get 4% because you're in a market where your average price is 300. Is that 300? It says 950, right? And 4%? You can ask for 4% on 10 million. You can ask for 4% on 10 million. Then other people will say to me, yeah, but you tricked them. You tricked them into believing it's 4% total. No, I don't. You see, what's that number right there? They know there's a high possibility they're going to pay 7% to work with me and the buyer's agent, if the buyer's agent isn't me. So this 4%, a lot of people think that it's about you, and yes, it is. But who is it really about? I had 2 amazing staff members I was so blessed with. Give it up for Carla and Gabriella. Carla, stand up. Carla, you're amazing. So I'm going to ask you, when clients are really rough, because you dealt with the clients when they would call about contracts, right? How did you feel about the rest of the day or handling Aaron's other files? It made you a pretty unhappy employee. I don't like to use the word employee because that's your husband, but in this sense, it made you a pretty unhappy staff member, right? You know what happens when they're not married to you? They leave. And you have to start over. And does that put a kink in your business when you're Sohail doing 100, well, he's married to his 2. You're doing 100 transactions a year and 60 million. It's kind of a pain in the butt to start over and hire somebody new. So I lost 2 amazing staff members that ran my life. And I looked at the clients and I said, there's a trend here. These 2%ers, they need to go. If you look, I'm telling you, go home and look at all of your transactions, or even right now think in your mind about the 5 favorite clients. I guarantee you they paid you your commission. That commission is not about you. It's about the client. Someone who values you, are they going to ask for a discount? Probably not. Are they super motivated if they're willing to pay 7%? Are they actually going to follow your advice? You guys have great advice. Don't we sometimes want to kick them? Like, what are you doing? If you want your clients to value you, take your advice, which you guys have great advice, and treat your staff members well and have high motivation. Don't change who you are. Change who gets to work with you. And how you do that is through the commission that they have to pay, because that's what you cost. We don't earn our fee, we cost it. We don't earn our fee, we cost it. We are one of the only professions where we get paid when we already did the job. We have to be the gatekeepers, vigilant about who gets that. I know there's a couple of baseball players in here. That's why I use this analogy. I read Mariano Rivera and Derek Jeter's books, and apparently if you play in the minor leagues, Applebee's is where you eat every day. And when you get up to the major leagues, you go to Mastro's. So I know sometimes when you talk about charging more commissions, something I hear from my coaching clients is, well, you know, what's in it for them? Why is it better for them? And I get that. You guys care about your clients, right? So why is it better for them? What's a better experience, going to Applebee's or going to Mastro's? Do you treat other people better when you're treated better? I mean, it's in the Bible. Do unto others as we want done to ourselves. So if you want to give your clients the major league experience and not the minor league experience, start charging them more. Because you're going to treat them better, your staff is going to treat them better, and they're going to be happier clients. It's kind of wild, right? If you think about it. You're paying more to be treated better. Okay, so this is one of my favorite things to do. It actually became a selling point, and it works every time. Us Americans, we're so funny. If you tell us we can't have something, we want it even more. How dare you take that away from me? That was my toy. So one of my favorite things to do, and Erin loves to read these text messages in our Zoom calls, is when someone says to me, but can you do it for $3? I say, you know what, I really appreciate that. Thank you for sharing how you feel, because I don't have a crystal ball. Unfortunately, at this point in my career with what I'm able to do for clients, this is my fee. However, I have a wonderful newer agent who would be excited to help you for 3%. Would you like me to send you their information? What do you think people say almost every time? No, I want you. Okay, great, sign. Here you go. And there are a few times where people will be like, you know, there's not enough equity, because that does happen. Feed your fam, feed your downline, give them some deals. Again, I'm talking about how to make double the money in half the time. If that's not something you need, then take the 3%. It's okay. Oh yeah, this is another one that's real. I think this is going to change this year though. How many of you had to sell a home more than once this year? Raise your hand if you had to put that deal back together 2 or 3 times on the same house. Did you ever get paid twice in that? No? Well, now you are. If you're charging 4%, you used to charge 2. If you're having to do more work to keep these deals together, shouldn't you be paid more? Did you know that when surgeons figure out a new way to do a surgery, it's named after them? And their fees go up astronomically? When attorneys figure out how to get settlements for certain type of things, their price per hour triples. You figured out how to do something super complicated and you got paid the same money because you allowed it to. So who's ready to charge their clients 4%? Let's go. So I created this little fun family thing. We had a party last night for all the founding members. Shout out to Connor, Marintz, Dave, everybody who's there, Mark. We have something called the Closers Club. And I realized that through doing this, because what's the number one objection we get about EXP? You don't have an office, right? And maybe some of you haven't joined yet. Is that one of the reasons why you haven't joined? Because we don't have an office? And sometimes when we are trying to put all these things into place, we need a little bit of accountability. We need someone to say, hey, you said you wanted to charge 4%, but I just heard you tell that client you would do it for 2%. So I created this space, and it's a virtual office. We call it the Closers Club because it's closers only. And what we do inside of there is really fun. We make a lot of money. So we prospect together. We have 4 different time zones. I want to see 24/7 every time zone in there prospecting. Help me find some people in other countries, please. I could use your help. So you can jump in anytime and prospect with some of the top agents in the country. Mark, who you just heard from. The list goes on. People who are doing tons of business. So, because we know that sometimes these things are great thoughts, but it's really hard to put in action. Maybe you're constantly getting stuck on the same objection and people are hanging up on you and you're like, man, I wish I had a better handler. What if you could hear 5 people every day handle it and get the appointment? Would that help you? We have daily role play. It used to drive me nuts. I don't know if you guys ever had this problem where like my role play partner wouldn't show up. I'd have to track them down. I'd have to find a new one and then find a new one. You don't have to worry about that because there's always somebody in there to role play with you whenever you want it. You just have to ask for help. Here's another thing that I offer personally, and so does Mark. Shout out to Mark. Hand. Stand up, Mark. Mark, stand up. So I like to call Mark the king, stay up, the king of probates and the meditation guru of real estate. He is incredible. Mark, and we get to be in the office together, feeding each other. And like, I'm so grateful to EXP. I don't know how you feel, Mark, that we've figured this out through EXP, which I don't think we would have if we weren't both here, right? I'm not sure that we all truly take advantage of this opportunity that's available to us. Like, some of you have been the number one in your office for 10 years. Now you get to hang out with the number one person in every market across the country. Because it can get pretty lonely being the only person sometimes. Like, your battery needs to be filled too. EXP really did something special for us by forcing us out of our comfort zone that is such a blessing, and we're not even truly taking advantage of it yet. I hope that we all will together. So I do live listing presentations, and so does Mark, with actual real sellers. And again, the beauty of EXP, if you wanted to join so-and-so with EXP, you would have to, drive with them. It's very awkward, drive back. You could only do it with one person at a time. So now that we have this opportunity with EXP, like somebody in North Carolina, somebody in California, somebody in Orlando, you could come and shadow my appointment, all of you. And the seller, I also found this out by doing. Seller came early to one of my appointments, right? And Fonzo, I think Marince was on. I don't remember. Maybe you were on too. And they're all making calls. The seller goes, "Is that your team? They're really good." And he goes, "I heard somebody in California. Are they going to?" I'm in Texas, which everybody wants a California buyer. They think that that's like suitcases of money. They were like, "Yeah, this is cool. Like, I'm ready to go." So what I found out by mistake is that maybe you might think sellers would think it's weird to have agents prospecting, but actually they were like, wow, you guys do the work. This is impressive. And it became a selling point. So let's try to do things a little bit different than what the industry has been telling us to do this whole time. Because maybe we'll become the agent of the future and make double the money in half the time. If this is something you might be interested in, feel free to grab that QR code. And we would love to work with you. We would love to partner with you. Let's do some deals. The other cool thing that's starting to happen is because people are in all these different markets is like, and some of you are calling creative, you're getting a seller in Wisconsin and you're in Orlando and your buddy over there who's also prospecting from Wisconsin and you guys split the deal. Yeah. So it's become a very cool place to do more deals as well, which we are at the Do More Deals Summit, right? Yeah. So key takeaways, Zoom is a multiplier, not a replacement of relationships. And do it right, you know? We've all gotten on a Zoom with someone who's selling us, and you're like, ugh, when is this over? Like, be the same person on Zoom that you are in person. Don't change. Authority comes from selectivity. Let's be the first agents ever in history to tell clients no. Get them to convince us to take them. Yes. They're like, no. I'm telling you, the first time you do it is going to be so empowering, you're going to be addicted to it after that. Prospect smarter with better systems. You guys have learned all weekend about great systems. Use them. Qualify clients ruthlessly. And then get in proximity to people who can help you, people who can hold you accountable, people who can do more deals with you.